So I recently saw, like 3 nights ago, I finally saw Bohemian Rhapsody on Hulu, and it is quite, and it was worth the wait. It was quite a cinematic biopic experience. I can see why this movie won a whole mess of Academy Awards and why it was nominated for even more. Now, first of all, the acting and the casting. Rami Malek does a kick-ass job as the legendary Freddie Mercury, and as performed, as played by him, Mercury kind of, in some of the longer shots early on, were kind of reminded me of Mick Jagger, kind of. I guess because they're both kind of real, kind of flamboyant Brit rockers. Um, and of course, people bitch and gripe this movie isn't accurate and all that. Somebody told me how amazing today they thought it was, and when I mentioned the complaints about it not being accurate, she's like, "Oh, it's a movie," which is really the way it is. If you ever listen to bonus material about some bios, music bios, and some bios like Ray, they tell you why certain parts weren't accurate. Because basically it's a lot more it was practical for making a movie. There are different things that if they're accurate, they might not have made a good movie, which is first and foremost what this is. So, and as for the casting, a lot of the actors do look enough like the characters they play. For instance, Brian May was played by an actor that looks like Brian May, even though at first the long frizzy hair kind of reminded me more of Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon. So it's kind of fascinating seeing the certain parts where you see them first coming up with some of their legendary songs. They could have done it more, as some people have said, but still, it's a very good movie. What's there is very good, accurate or not. And some people complain that the time they jumped around the timeline and stuff like that, like everything wasn't in order. Well, once or twice I kind of said, well, are they jumping around just a little bit? But I'm not an expert, and I wouldn't say it jumped around too much. Plus, I might have just not had all my facts straight. But those that I had straight, once in a while I thought maybe that they slightly marginally jumped around a very few times. So I can't really complain. Now, it's funny because the night I saw this, a friend of mine saw Queen with Adam Lambert as the front man. And I'm like, oh yeah, on Facebook she said she was getting ready to be rocked. And I posted something like, oh yeah, it just so happens I just saw Bohemian Rhapsody a little while ago. Well, also a comment. I got a comment on Facebook that a dear departed friend of mine, comment from his mom, a departed friend of mine who passed away last December, that was that Bohemian was the last movie he ever saw and that he loved it. So, but yeah, I can see I can see why it caused a stir. Of course. I was left, thinking, well, that's mostly an uplifting movie, but it was kind of bittersweet because, Freddie Mercury's story kind of became kind of depressing and kind of sad. He, all about all of his troubles with romantic relationships and his wanting to be understood and heard. But then, in the case of songs such as Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like they knew somebody would understand them. And whoever didn't, well, that was just tough toenails. And of course, the cinematography is great. And I thought Mary Austin was not only cute, but they had a really wonderful, priceless relationship. It's like as soon as they broke up, she just became a whole different kind of loving person instead of never talking to him again and all that. And it almost made me think for a while after the breakup that she wanted to get back with him. But it's like they never really went their separate ways. It's just the romance ended, and she was still in his life. It happens from time to time. So, we see some of his romantic relationships, and he made some of the he pissed some people off, including some of the bandmates, and he went and flat out asked them what it would take for them to forgive him, and it's like they always were friends ever since they got together. And so basically, all I can say is that, in summary, that Bohemian Rhapsody is one of the best movies of last year. It's impressive. It's very positive seeing the movie's version of Queen's rise to fame. Everybody knows who Queen is. Legendary band. Bohemian Rhapsody was misunderstood, according to the movie, by record executives. I believe Casey Kasem might have said years ago that or Killer Queen was considered too weird. There's also complaints that the record executive trying to block Bohemian Rhapsody because he didn't get it and some of the words didn't make sense. That was just also a Hollywood concoction that there was no Ray Foster. But all you have to do is read up on this, and this movie kind of inspires me to start learning more about Queen. So all I can say is it's a very good movie, highly recommended. I might even watch it again sometime while it's on Hulu. There are no further words. This is George saying it's a wrap, and if you like this video, please click like and be sure to subscribe to my channel where there's a lot of movie reviews and some other things. Ciao.